doesn't come around quickly enough because, of course, there's a lot happening with ASEAN. So we thought we'd take the opportunity again to talk with our founder and CEO of AseanAffairs publication, of course, Mr. S. Roy. Lots happening as usual.
Yes, lots happening as usual.
Now, the 41st anniversary of ASEAN was celebrated earlier in August.
Yes.
What happened at that meeting in Jakarta?
Right. As you know, 8th of August, and this time it was 888, was the 41st anniversary of ASEAN. In fact, on the 8th of August 1967 is the day in Bangkok it was born. So, of course, the festivities were a bit subdued because they said they should be focusing less on frivolities and on the main agenda. However, the ASEAN Secretary General, Dr. Surin Pitsuwan, did organize a celebration in Jakarta on the occasion of ASEAN's anniversary. And we have our correspondent Mikhail Siganov in Jakarta who shot the event, which we have a video to show to our viewers.
Well, it's interesting also, Roy, to see the actual performance that Dr. Surin took from Thailand. So it was like, hence the Thai
Yes,
silk
it inspired
shirt.
me to put on my Thai silk.
All of us today.
But you are always, I am sometimes, but you are always the flag bearer of Thai culture.
Try
on
to
TV,
be.
television.
Try to be.
Yes.
Lloyd, moving on to more serious things, I suppose, and the role of ASEAN, surely one of the concerns must be inflation throughout the whole area. What's the story?
Okay. You see, the ASEAN single market drive may be on track according to our ASEAN organization, and the ratification of the charter may very well happen by the end of this year. However, the biggest worry as of now for all member countries, of course, the worldwide worry, but for particularly ASEAN, inflation. For example, from Manila to Singapore, in the Philippines, let's begin with Philippines, inflation averaged 7.6% for the first half, which is up from 5.6% in the first quarter. Now, this dampens consumption and stoking public discontent. Yeah. The official forecast now says GDP in the second quarter won't be as high as 5.2%. This for the Philippines. The growth recorded in the first quarter, and will stay far below 30-year high of 7.2%. I'm talking of GDP growth. Last year, Philippines achieved 7.2%, a 30-year high record GDP. When you have inflation this year, growth also goes down.
That's right.
People don't buy, consumption goes down, right? That's one for Philippines. If you talk about Thailand, for example, the economy expanded by 5.3% in the 3 months ended June 30th. The inflation hit a 10-year high in Thailand, okay, between 6.5 and 7% this year. This is the expectation of the government think tanks. Now, but below the percent forecast for the Bank of Thailand projected is around 7.5% to 8.8%. All right. Now, the economists are warning of threats to the economy, particularly because of slowing down of the major superpowers like the United States, Europe, and Japan.
It's going to have a roll-on, a flow-on effect.
A roll-on and roll-on. Malaysia actually has been one of the countries where the inflation was always under control, but it has not fared better either.
But that's also got to do with the political issues, hasn't
One
it?
is the political issue, A. B, the government just announced in Malaysia a cut in fuel prices. Now, mind you, few months back, they actually cut fuel subsidies. The prices went up. Now they cut the fuel prices again to go down. So they're doing that because of the elections coming up.
Indeed.
That is one. But inflation hit the highest since December 1981 in Malaysia. In June, 7.7%. So you can see it's
What
like
about
a
Singapore?
pandemic.
Because we all look to Singapore as the country that's in control. You know, that they seem to don't seem to have the issues that we have.
That's right. That's right. Singapore's actual, for example, in the 2003 to 2001 period, we have the slides on which will come up. Singapore had a 1.1%, say 2003 to 2007. Forecast for 2008 is 5%. Okay.
And that's still, it's a large increase.
Even the most affluent member of ASEAN, Singapore, is beginning to
5%.
grapple with inflation and increasing food prices.
So what can be done?
Yes. What can be done, and let me also, we have another slide which is the impact of inflation on consumer confidence, which is a slump.
Yes.
Now here's an interesting in the table that we are showing you. Please note that all the countries are in red, 6 countries here, all 5 countries are in red except one country, Singapore, whose consumer sentiment has not been hurt, it has actually gone up. Okay? This is a survey which has been done by MasterCard based on 5 factors: the employment, economy, regular income, the stock market, and quality of life. So surging food prices, volatile financial markets, continuing global credit crunch hits consumer confidence in all the 6 markets in ASEAN except Singapore.
Interesting, isn't it? So what do we do?
Yes. So
what do they do?
here is the sum up. If you ask me what should we do, why, if you can learn from Singapore, of course you have to manage your economy even better as the time gets turbulent. That's point number 1 that you understand. And number 2, the countries like Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, which are grappling with its own political problems, that means they are taking their eyes off the ASEAN agenda. We would say they should not, because even if you have political domestic problems, the ASEAN single market will be actually a panacea to a lot of problems that ASEAN single countries are facing alone. Together they will be in a better position to solve it. That's the whole idea of ASEAN anyway.
So that's what should be done. And
in my own humble opinion.
how's AseanAffairs, the web and the publication?
It's doing, it is just like inflation in the reverse for us. It's a runaway success. We have just appointed our Singapore distributor last week. So now AseanAffairs magazine is available in all major bookshops in Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore. We're on the verge of appointing a distributor in Vietnam, the USA, Canada, and India. And just if I may add, our distributors in the US are talking to us about creating a North American edition of AseanAffairs, which will be called AAA, AseanAffairs American Edition.
AAA rating, huh? Okay, it's all heading in the right direction.
That's right, that's right.
Thanks, Roy, for joining us. We'll
Thank
see
you so
again
much
soon.
for your support.
Very welcome. Of course, we like to bring you every month, and we'll try to do it more regularly, the ASEAN Affairs Update. We'll go now to Aglit, who's going to bring us property updates by Raymond Land. Stay tuned.